Recording. Welcome, everyone. We're going to call the March 7th, 2024 College Curriculum Committee meeting to order at 2:35 p.m. And it is the first thing we're going to do is to approve the minutes from February 1st. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions on the minutes? All in favor of approving the minutes, raise your hand.
Okay, we're good.
Lower your hands. Any opposed? Thank you. The minutes from February 1st are approved. And we are going to move on to our items. First item for today is I have a motion to approve item 21-4 HRT 100 revision and item 24-8 the HRT 135 revision. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Thank you. We have two course revisions, HRT 100 Intro to Horticulture, HRT 135 Soil and Fertilizers. In addition to updated course topics, topical outcomes, and text. HRT 100 has a change in textbook, HRT 135 supplemental textbook. They're asking for HRT 100 to be PCS changed from 1.2 to 1.1. Both are being submitted for IEI review, and I believe Christopher and Susan are here to present these. So Christopher or Susan, who would like to go first, or both?
I can go first, I guess. So yeah, thank you all for considering this proposal. I do feel strongly that given the nature of this course and the broad, it's a survey course. It's an overview of the entire field of horticulture. And I think having an advanced degree is important in terms of exposure to all facets of the industry in order to be able to teach this course. That's why I chose to move the PCS change. We did update a whole bunch of the topical learning outcomes to better align with IAI, because really there are two articulation agreements we already have in place with the last two remaining horticulture programs in the state of Illinois, and it would be nice for this one to be completely accepted. I mean, they give us credit for what it articulates, but they don't give us the full credit for it. Any questions?
Thank you, Christopher. Susan, would you like to comment on HRT 135?
Sure. I think I'm on now. Yes, the main reason for this is to get IEI approval, and so that the course can be transferable to other institutions. It's an important course in many fields.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions on HRT 135 then? All right, all in favor of approving items 24-4, 24 Susie, do you have that right? I see 24-4 and then it jumps to 24-8.
Yes, because 100 was tabled at the last meeting.
Oh, yeah, I see. Everybody's raising their hand. They're in favor of them.
Thank you, everyone.
We're good.
All right, lower your hands.
I have a question.
Lower your hands. Okay, only vote if you're actually on the curriculum committee. No, hands keep going up.
I have a question.
Okay. Denise.
PCS. Can someone remind, what does that mean?
Susie.
PCS 1.2, according to the state, is career orientated. 1.1 is transfer, but also career courses do transfer too, but 1.1 is a better transferability for courses.
Okay, thank you.
Credentials are a little bit different as well. 1.2 is because it's more career oriented, that doesn't necessarily need a master's if there is field experience. And the 1.1s all need masters. If I'm correct, is that right, Susie?
Yes, to teach,
Okay.
yes.
All right, I believe we had enough votes to pass these two items, but I just want to remind everyone in the meeting, if you're not a voting member of the curriculum committee, do not raise your hand so we have an accurate count.
Julianne,
Yes,
Julianne, if you're uncertain, I think you should go ahead and do another vote. I
am. I think I'm going to do that.
That's where you're heading. Yeah, okay. I gotta,
yeah.
don't, that way you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, Julianne, the questions should come before the vote, during discussion before the vote is made, just to be technical with it.
Okay, thank you. So we are going to vote on items 24-4, revision of HRT 100, and 24-8, revision of HRT 135. Again, if you're a member of the curriculum committee, you may vote. All in favor.
Is Jack a member? I'm not sure.
I'm going to double check right now. So,
Okay.
we have Latrice, John, William, Antigone, Jill, Michael, Glenn, Allie, Tracy, Robert, William, and myself, and then the deans.
Denise is a member too. Are you voting,
Yes,
Denise?
the deans. The deans. Denise. It would be Denise, Panos, Jeanette, Pam, and the VP.
Yes.
So I think we're good, right?
We're good, yes.
Okay, lower your hands. Denise or Panos, did you have another question? Okay. I'm just waiting for the hands to go down. And any opposed? Okay, those two items passed. Can I have a motion to approve item 24-9, which is a revision of BIS 240, and 24-10, which is a revision of BIS 241? A motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. For these two courses, we have revised topics, revised topical learning outcomes, revised course learning outcomes. And I'm hoping, is Sheldon here, or who's presenting these?
I'm here, right, Jack?
Okay. Okay, Jack, thank you. Could you please present these?
Yes, those two courses, those are human anatomy and physiology. Those revised courses from the previous course, we combining anatomy and physiology together. So we split the entire anatomy and physiology into two courses. So we're not going to be teaching anatomy by itself or physiology by itself. So the student will be only applying, will be mostly reviewing one book, one textbook, and this is beside that, this course is also IAI as well, following all the rules for IAI related to the entire revision for this course. All the material learning objective, the course form is actually affiliated with all the comply to the rules for IAI. And those courses is cadaver-based course, which is provide a great opportunity for students to transfer anywhere they like to go. So hopefully we'll do, I'm just open to any question or concern about those revision.
Okay, Jack, you're
Yes.
You're seeking the IAI code, correct?
Yes.
Because right now you don't have it. Okay.
In the rationale, I do see it says these changes are in alignment with II major code, and then it is BIO 920C. I believe that's the same code listed for both 240 and 241. Is that accurate?
Yes. They're both
BIO
cadaver courses. The C is,
Yeah, BIO 920C.
yes.
I have an effective date request of 8/18/2024, which is August 18th, 2024. So this will be effective in fall.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. A couple of hands are up. Let me see. Denise, would you like to go first? Denise, are you there?
Oh, I'm just my bad. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I know for some of the programs, specifically more those in the health career programs, BIS 240 and 241 is one of those either or courses that students can do the 240 or the BIS 136 or 137. Does that impact that at all? This change?
I don't think there is any impact for those change and dates, and we're revising those courses right now, and we are in the way also to do some work on the 136, 137 after we talk with the all career program.
I think it would be a good idea to get a list from Susie, all the curriculum that this course is
Yes.
in, and make sure you have some communication with the department chairs.
Absolutely.
Okay, Tracy?
How will we transition students that are currently in BIS 240 or who have taken BIS 240 recently and they need to finish the sequence?
Yes, so what we want to do, we want to start in the fall taking only offering 240 as a new textbook. We're not offering 241 because we want to continue to offer the old way 241 for students who already complete 240. So we will be only starting with the 240 in the fall, and then in spring, hopefully, we're going to add the 241.
So what about students who are needing to finish the sequence in order to transfer?
So if somebody now takes 240,
yeah,
they will have an option to complete the 241 in the fall still. So because we're not teaching 241, the new curriculum, the revision yet, because we need to build up a new student with to be tracking those students.
So are you going to let those students know about the change then?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, the changes are saying that it's both effective in fall. So the 241 you're offering in fall, should that still be the old 241?
So the idea is we need to get those approved now. So we want to move on if in case. So we want to try to get them approved, and we want to start offering the first one in fall and then the second one in spring, that 241.
Mm-hmm. So
but
I'm thinking maybe the effective date for 241, should that be spring of 2025?
Yeah, but is it any, if we can, so bottom line says we cannot still using the 240 old one once we approve 241, yes? Now, that's the conflict now?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Is anybody have any other input on that to make sure we have the correct effective dates?
I would think that we'd have to, stagger these. So if 240 is going to be the new 240, 241 is going to be new, the sequencing would suggest, but 240 effective fall, then but 241 effective spring. So in the fall, 241 is taught off the old curriculum for the easy transition based on what Tracy's saying. So you're going to have to stagger these.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and I would think that we should somehow or another reach out to anybody who has taken 240 in the last several semesters to let them know that they need to complete 241 by a deadline before it changes.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody may not be taking it this semester, but they took it last year.
Right. So, you know what, we're going to definitely need, Susie, we're going to need the curriculum that both of these are in. We're going to need a list of that. and contact the department chairs, but that to let them know of the changes, but that still might not capture all the students that this is impacting. All right, let me think.
It would impact any pre-professional health student.
Yeah.
Also, did the prereqs change with the new? I'm still trying to get to the page.
Let me see. Jack, if you could comment on that.
I mean, it's not changing any. The prerequisites is not. There is no change for that. We still holding that. I mean, to be honest, the idea is I want to revise those courses now before, but the plan is also to get revision to 136, 137 as well. So we want to try to, after we have a discussion with all health career program and what the expectation in there, and see what exactly looking into all the learning objectives they require in their program has been met in our course, and whether it's a part 1 or part 2. So we might actually combine even 136, 137 to develop one course, which is meet all the need for that certification programs. So that's what the plan
was input cited from. Was input cited from the health career programs that use this as a prereq yet?
Yeah, I got a question.
All right, I'm gonna have Dean Pam go next. She's had her hand up, and then we'll get back to Denise, please.
Hi, everybody. Yes, I was aware of the changes that were going to be implemented, and I believe Dr. Finch had some conversations as well. What I would suggest is I am all for making it not two separate anatomy and separate physiology. I think the route that is being taken is going to be a good one. As far as staggering it is concerned, I do think that in the fall semester, by having 240 be the one that's being proposed, and I would recommend that the 241 not go into effect until spring, and between now and through the fall semester is the department's going to need to reach out to anybody who's taken 240 to ensure that they fully are aware of the fact that with a curriculum change that they must either, I don't know if you offer it in the summer or in the fall, if you have a large number of students, you may have to run at least one section in the spring to finish those people out. We've done a similar thing with a cohort program, and we usually at least minimally move those students out of the sequencing of things before we start in on the new. So I think Jack mentioned starting 240 in the fall, and then to me 241 would not go into effect until the spring. I know what Jack is saying about working on things. There's no reason why he can't work on both, but allowing students to finish, especially in my area, that may take more than the fall semester, but I think it's a great start.
Jack, do you know if it's offered in summer?
Yes, it does. We do have a courses offer in the summer, 241.
Okay,
so
and that's to me that's good. Then that's good.
Is that going to be enough
in the summer?
In the summer and
in the fall.
Summer and fall.
Yes, we have in the fall as well.
Then to me, we've done something similar. I think that should be enough time, as long as all the 240 students are notified.
So let me ask a question, because I want the logistic question regarding, like, if we approve both of them right now for fall, is it also there is a problem if the student who wants to take 241, we can open one section to cover their need and the old physiology part, and we can actually designate one faculty to do it, or somehow, or we just have to wait. We just approve 240 now, and you guys, we have to come back and approve the
No. What we're thinking of doing is approving the 240 effective fall of 2024 and approving the 241 effective spring 2025. So when you're offering the 241 in summer, it's off the old course forms.
Yes. Yes.
And when you're offering the 241 in the fall, it's off the old course forms. And then in the
Yes.
spring, it will be reflective of these new course forms.
Yes.
So we need, I'm going to have Denise talk, and then we need to make sure that we have a way to contact the students. So Denise, please.
Well, Pam stated some of my, but I'm okay. I'm more concerned about the also revision to the BIS 136, 137, and if that then is going to impact how they're right now offered interchangeable for students, and is that going to change? Because if that's going to change, then that's a larger discussion. But I don't think they know yet because they haven't looked into actually changing the curriculum for it.
Well, both of those are at different levels. And so to me, I welcome the updates because I know that Jack and I have had conversations about updating those, and they need to be updated. So I'm sure, learning outcomes will reflect that. I don't see an issue with it. I think it's going to be a great idea.
Yes, I'm still just saying when it's updated, is it going to be similar to what students have as choices now? That's what I'm asking.
You mean choices of whether or not to do 136, 137, or 240, 241?
Yeah.
That would still apply.
Okay.
Yeah, just to make sure that I'm clear here, we're not doing anything for 136, 137 at this point. Right now, we want to go step by step. I'm going with my courses at first, and we try to revise them first. And then, like I said, and I talked with Pam about that, and I'm approaching every health career program chair. Also, I talked to the allied health as well, to Peter, and I talked to the I think is the surgical technician lady also. So I'm actually, it's not like I'm reaching out to everyone, and I have conversation with them, and even, for example, some of the career program, they prefer to have student to have 240 to be taken. They don't like to even student to even take 136 or 137. So we will have to discuss that. We will have to talk about like what is the best for our student to do. But because the idea is we need our student to be able to maximize their knowledge as much as possible to perform well on their state exam and any exam they planning to do.
Thank you. Michael?
Yeah, just quick. Tracy made a good point in the chat, so I want to bring it forward here. I'm assuming any students that took, that needs 240, 241 as in their plan, or, has started them, will get this notice. But pre-professionals, some of my students take these courses. Most of them are people who are planning to transfer to get a Bachelor of Science and probably go on to a master's in nursing rather than the nursing program. And so it would include some of them too. So I'm just assuming we're not just looking at programs, but anyone who is partially, is in the midst of this. I just want to make sure that's,
Right.
that's taken into consideration, that those people are contacted as well.
So if we pulled from research a list of people who took BIS 240 over the last, what would you say, 1 year, 2 years?
I'd say at least 2, Julianne.
2 years.
Mm-hmm.
What? Any other opinions on that?
I'm not sure about the 2 years. I guess for Jack, I'd like to hear his side of retention, because the way it's currently set up is kind of part 1, part 2 with anatomy and then physiology. 2 years is quite a gap between courses.
Mm-hmm.
Jack?
That's true.
Yeah, I think 2 years is too much.
I think so too now, sorry. After I heard that, I said, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
2 years is too much. But it was certainly within the year. And those students I mentioned are not required to take those anatomy courses, those 130, whatever they are. But they are a lot of transfer schools do want them to take, especially the ones that are planning to go through that bachelor's into master's. A lot of them require 240 and 241. They don't require the anatomy courses, at least here. So, that's just, I just think anyone who's taken the course in the last year should probably get the notice regardless of what they're, whether they're in a program or not.
Okay. Tracy?
I would advocate for 2 years because having worked with pre-professional health students with the chemistry and sometimes the physics that they're taking, and many of them will need the BIS 150 and 151. If they have had to step away for any reason, it would not be unlikely that it could be slightly over a year since they took the 240, even though it's not how we encourage them to do it. And it would save us the trouble of having them come back in a semester and say, well, why didn't you let me know? I think it's just a little proactive to cover all of our bases.
Right. And if it doesn't apply to them, they could disregard the email, but at least they did get that.
Yeah, it
Right.
saves us. At least we can go back later and say, we sent you an email, we've reached out to you to notify you, just like we do if we're withdrawing a program.
Right.
Yeah, and I think with our programs where we've made substantial changes, we've always allowed that year time frame and notified many more than we're probably even required, just to be sure we've touched base with everybody.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I will make sure that the curriculum committee is aware of what is going to be sent out, but it looks like unless anything changes, it will be the last 2 years. I'll pull a research request for students that took BIS 240, and then I'm going to work with Jack and Sheldon to make sure the right language is placed on that. I can have the committee review it before it's officially sent out. I'll have you review the language before it is sent. Denise?
Hey, just a really quick question. When you go to pool the students, I think it's also fair to make sure then we eliminate those students who have already completed 241. Because what I'm hearing is just looking at students who took 240, but then eliminate the ones who took 241. So it wouldn't apply to them.
Right, great. Yeah. Who took it and passed, right?
Right.
All right, thank you. Good idea. Michael?
Just quick, yeah. If we that would be pretty easy for research to do. Just you just have to make sure you know exactly how far you want to go back. And it sounds like now, after all, we are going to do 2. And then if they've taken this course and have not taken that course, that's I think that'll be pretty doable.
Okay, great. I appreciate everyone's input.
Yeah, I want to just mention something, guys, maybe you guys not aware about. 241, even if the student who took 240, only anatomy, and they want to take the 241, the new edition, the new actually revised 241, this is not gonna actually make any problems for them at all, because they will find it a lot more actually open for them to accept this knowledge. It's because it will be mixed with the anatomy and physiology, and there is no missing topic. I mean, I can go and review all the things it's in there, what is actually because the most physiology material we have in lab right now for physiology, it will be implemented, most of them in there, and will be, in addition, they will be hands-on cadaver, hands-on models, hands-on all of those anatomy in detail. So even, I mean, I'm not sure like if this is a problem, if they took the new 241, even if they come back 2 years back and they want to take 241. So I mean, I agree we have to allow students to know, and that's we're revising. And if they like to take the 241 only physiology, they should do that. But I'm just saying like 241 is going to be a lot richer material in there. and it's not going to be a huge gap between right now what actual 240, because it will be added, whatever it's in there, it will be added to.
Okay. Well, I think our plan is going to be, we're going to vote to make 240 effective fall of 2024, make 241 effective spring of 2025. We'll send out a notice to the students who took 240 in the last 2 years, but did not complete 241. I'm going to have the science department, Sheldon and Jack, look over the message that we'll create for the students, and then I will have the curriculum committee review that via email virtually before it's sent out to make sure that, you know, we're not missing anything. And is there any questions on what I've proposed or comments on what I've proposed? Okay. And again, I thank you for working collaboratively to come to a solution, everyone. So we will vote on items 24-9, 24-10. All in favor, please raise your hand.
Denise and John Cody.
Denise or John, are you going to vote? Yeah, I was just going to say, are you going to vote or are you opposed? Do we? Okay, Denise is voting in favor. And John has become inactive. Do we have enough with the votes that are here? Susie?
I'm checking one.
Oh.
Yes, we do.
Okay, lower your hands. And any opposed? Okay, thank you. Those items have passed. Susie, just make sure we have the effective dates correct on those. And we are going to now move on. Thank you, Jack. Can I have a motion to approve items 24-11 through 24-17, which are FIR, the Fire Science Curriculum Revisions? Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. And quickly, I'm going to present this, and then William is here to follow up. What we have is one deleted course, which is item 24-15 FIR 205, Company Fire Officer 2 is being deleted. The content from that is being moved into FIR 204, Company Fire Officer 1. So content from FIR 205 into FIR 204. FIR 204 is moving from 3 to 8 credit hours. They're all lecture. We have item 26-16 FIR 206, which is a revised course. It was and remains 8 credit hours, just updated topics, topical outcomes, course learning outcomes, textbook, and assessment. And we have a revision of FIR 251, it's item 24-17, FIR 251, Occupational Safety and Health for Emergency Services. It was 2 credit hours, and it is moving to 3 credit hours. It will now be 2.5 lecture, 1 lab, 52.5 contact hours. So because of the 1 deletion and the 3 revisions, those were impacting 3 FIR curriculum, which is item 24-11 C243B Fire Science AAS, item 24-12 C343A Fire Science Certificate, and item 24-13 C444E Company Fire Officer Certificate. Company Fire Officer Certificate is 3 credit hours. The FIR 205 was deleted, and the 204 was increased, so it still remains 13 credit hours. Fire science certificate 38 to 39 because of FIR 251 increasing by 1, and the fire science AAS moving from 65 to 66 because the FIR 251 increased by 1 credit hour. And that is a quick summary, but William is here to present.
Any questions?
No questions? All the questions, I believe, were answered between us on email yesterday with the contact hours confusion. So just to be sure, I want to make an announcement that if credit hours are changing, that the schedule needs to reflect those changes. And so Fire 205 in this case, excuse me, Fire 204 in this case, it's going to be now 120 contact hours. The Fire 251 is going to be 52.5 contact hours. So just make sure, I mean, obviously with the fire, but in any of the curriculum and courses, that scheduling is alerted to those changes when we submit the CSAR, that's updated as well.
Okay.
Any comments on the fire changes? Questions, comments? All right, all in favor of items 24-11 through 24-17? We have 3 curriculum revisions, 3 course revisions, and 1 deletion. Please raise your hand.
Dismissing Denise.
Okay, are we good, Susie?
Yeah, we're just, okay, now we're good.
All right, lower your hands. Any opposed? Those items have passed. Thank you. We do have one more item that was omitted off of the agenda. It was in Watermark in the TRC. I'm not sure if everyone saw that, so I am going to take an extra moment here to look this over. But we have item, can I have a motion to approve item 24-18, which is a revision of C417E, a revision of the certified nurse assistant. Just a motion to approve.
Motion. Bill.
Second.
Second, thank you. So this revision is only of the prerequisite, and you'll see on your screen right now, as it was in Watermark, you'll see what was scratched out, what was stricken, and then what the new prerequisite is. The rationale is also on your screen, and I would ask if Pam could please comment on this briefly.
Yeah, so I know we had tried to make some revisions previously with this to align more with a college level reading, which was the original wording for the catalog. But what I will tell you is at IDPH, to be a nursing assistant, their requirement is an 8th grade, completion of 8th grade. And so we tried to take a look at other schools. We tried to work with IDPH to determine what would be clear for our high schools as well as alignment with them. And that is why we ended up with the wording that you see in front of you. Questions?
Michael.
Yeah, I just want, the reason I didn't jump in with my usual so moved is not because I have a problem with this, but because I hadn't seen it, because I did not see this, and I'm just reading it for the first time. I just want to say that I think with Pam's justification, I mean, obviously this is not someone, you can't just go from this into a degree program. I don't have a problem with it. That sounds like they've done their homework.
Thank you. It is one course. And from what I'm hearing, this course then could be taken by the high school students.
Yes, it's currently being taken by the high school students.
Okay. And then they would be completed with the course and the certificate.
Correct. And
Jack?
then, oh, go ahead.
Oh.
I was just
Yeah,
going to say,
so-
and then a lot of these students then go on to nursing, which does require Rhetoric 101 and a whole slew of other courses to go in line with that. But many students interested in the medical profession in high school take this course. I know that in many who are interested in med school, this is one of the options that they have, and many of these students do this even over the summer as a university transfer.
Mhm.
But it is high schoolers.
Okay. And Jack?
So the high schooler can do it in the summer, for example?
Actually, we offer in the fall and spring. The high schoolers come on campus for 4 days a week, as well as any of the other dual credit or dual enrollment students. And they can do it as part of their junior or senior year, one semester only.
This is part of the dual program?
It's an option. We offer it on campus, but we also offer it at our local high schools.
So how long is that?
One semester.
Like how many hours every day? Like how many
For-
hours they have to attend?
It's six credits. So the high schoolers are usually here a few hours each day, at least 4 days a week. But then they also do a clinical internship on a handful of Saturdays. So most of them either come in the morning or we offer an afternoon session. So there's a variety of options in our scheduling with both the high schoolers as well as not high school, but all of it is the same amount of hours, just fewer days if the students are not in high school.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other comments? And I believe that we had adequate time to look this over on the screen if you didn't get a chance to see it in Watermark. Is there any other comments or questions? All in favor of the prerequisite change then for item 24-18 C417E Nurse Assistant Certificate, please raise your hand.
John Cody?
I'm having connection issues here. I agree.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we're good then.
Lower your hands. Any opposed? Okay, that item has passed. Thank you. That is that concludes the items that we're voting on today. We have one other item, which is the GECC designation guidelines. We do have 5 gen ed outcomes at the college, and you see them on your screen right now, and a brief statement on which, on each one of those is on your screen right now. We just are having this other item as an information item so that we need to ensure the faculty that are checking the boxes on the course form that would state they're aligning their course to one of these gen ed outcomes, that truly that outcome is reflected and is part of the course. So we want to make sure that we are defining the outcome properly and that that information is shared with the faculty so that a faculty isn't checking a box that really isn't addressed in the course. What you're seeing on your screen right now is just the, quick definition, but I do have another file that I'm going to share with you that goes into a little bit more detail. And then Jessica and I would be happy to take any questions or comments. Now, this file that I'm sharing with you, you can use your little plus magnifying glass to make it a little larger on your end as well. This file that I'm sharing with you is 4 pages that Jessica has shared with me. It is in your agenda packet today. I do have it posted in the curriculum committee Blackboard, the Ultra Blackboard shell. and I believe Jessica just shared it in the chat room as well. Jessica, before I open it up for any other comments or questions, would you like to add anything?
Sure. Yeah, the link that I put in the chat is the link to the SharePoint site, which is another way of viewing this information. There's also a link for a PDF that you can download from there as well. This is just a full laying out the rubrics that we use to assess these outcomes for general education that we have adopted by the AAC&U value rubrics. And then defining what each of the criteria are that are part of the rubric. I've included some embedded links in the document. If you go to the SharePoint site, there's a lot of additional links to the AAC&U rubrics themselves. You can see the dimensions and the criteria, but wanting to provide as much information as possible so that when you are checking these boxes in for your curriculum review, you understand what that means. And if you are checking the box, it means that you may be assessed according to exactly these things. This year, as you are probably aware, we are assessing global learning. And so we take all the courses that have checked the box for global learning, and we determine a random sample, or institutional research determines a random sample based on that. So if you check the box for any one of these 5 or more, one or more of these, that's what you're basically volunteering your course to be. You will be expected to be assessed according to these criteria. So again, as Julianne said, this is informational, so you understand the rubric that we use to assess and what each of these things mean, so that if you are looking for new assessments in your course or additional material you want to do, it could help guide you as you may wish. Yeah, that's what we put together here. And again, like I said, the link that I put in there is a full SharePoint page that goes through each of these, links to the rubrics themselves, as well as past presentations of the general education assessments that we've had. So.
Thank you, Jessica. So what you see is this document, and it goes into detail about each one of the 5 gen ed outcomes for individuals that need a little bit more clarity on what each of those entails. I also am going to share my screen for one moment if I can. I also went onto the website. I have this website posted. I believe there's a link in that document. Let me see. Just taking a moment to log. I did go onto this website. I believe, well, let me go. It logged me out. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. It logged me out and I lost my place that I wanted to show you. Give me 1 second. I apologize. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, I think I'm on the right screen. Okay, so this link is in the document that we shared with you, and this is just, if you go onto this website, aacu.org, you'll see the different gen ed outcome options. And if you click on, we'll do global learning, you click on the global learning, it details it a bit more, but you could then download the rubric. And I'm going to share, in order to download the rubric, you do have to create an account and enter your information. It's free, but you do have to download that.
Julianne, and actually on the we've done the work of that download for you. So if you don't want to be bothered creating an account and doing a download, if you go to the SharePoint site and for each and Julianne, since you're sharing your screen already, if you want to pull up that particular the SharePoint link, but the rubric is linked there already for you. You don't have to log in to the ASU website, so it has this exact rubric there, as well as oftentimes the faculty, the Gen Ed subcommittee had adopted it or revised it. For instance, last year for quantitative literacy, the Gen Ed subcommittee revised it a little bit for clarity. We did something similar this year. We didn't really revise it, but we did some things to format to help with clarity as well. And you can find each of those again on that SharePoint site. So you don't have to go outside of that SharePoint site to find the link to get these or any of these documents there.
Okay, and you have that in the chat room, am I correct?
Yeah, and if you, I mean, Julianne, since you're already sharing, if you want to show them that page.
Yeah. I am going to get to that right now. I believe this is the one you want. Correct, Jessica?
Yep, that's right. Yep. So if you scroll down, you can expand global learning. And over there on the right there's the two links. That rubric there is the actual rubric itself that we just saw. So you don't need to go into the AAC&U website. And then the keyword rubric is the one that we've, like I said, formatted so that to provide clarity to the documentation for that particular rubric. And so I've done that for each of those. Each of our general education comes here. Again, the associated AAC&U rubric, and if we've got a revised rubric that we'd used for the past assessment, and then if there was a published report or a presentation, I've embedded those there as well. So this is your one-stop shop to our general education assessments, both past and present.
Okay, and I could then share this in the curriculum site as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blackboard site. So does anyone have comments or questions on this, making sure that the courses are checking the right Gen Ed outcomes that they're actually reflecting? Michael?
Yeah, I just want to comment that I think this is the next step. I mean, this is something we need to do. And I think giving people a definition and telling them, you might be evaluated for this if you check it, will maybe make people put a little more thought into that. And I understand, because when you're doing curriculum, this stuff seems like, with all the stuff you have to do, you get to this checklist. But it also takes away from us. Sometimes when I've seen them on curriculum committee and thought, really, you do quantitative literacy in that, or really you do critical thinking, I'm not about to question someone like that. I think they need to decide that. So I think just understanding, here's what it is, and you would need to be able to show that you do this if you click here. Will move us to this. We've started it. I just see this as a step of taking something we did that was good and now making it more accurate than maybe it's been the last few years. So I think it's a good idea.
That was a good summary. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So if the members of the committee could share this in their department meetings, and the deans share it in their meetings as well, making sure that the courses that are checking are actually the correct outcomes in those courses. And if they would like to change that, they certainly can. They could do a course form revision. Anything else?
One additional point of clarification too is it doesn't even necessarily have to be that the entire course focuses on this. It could be there are elements about the course that has aspects of written communication or quantitative literacy. It doesn't mean that only math courses are quantitative literacy type courses, So, but if there will need to be identified a single assessment, at least one assessment within the course that can be assessed according to these rubrics. So this idea of as much information in your hands as possible to understand if your course is called up, what does that mean? So
And we are doing global learning. We are assessing each of the 5 outcomes, I believe once every 5 years.
That's right.
Well, it says 1 outcome per year.
Yeah. Well, I
And
mean, yeah, every 5 years. Yeah. So this is the 5th, and we were completing our first 5-year cycle this year with global learning, and next year we come around again to critical thinking.
And I should clarify, I think that's where some of the confusion occurs on our campus is we're assessing these, but we're reporting that assessment once every 5 years. Is that correct?
Cool. Both. Like we do an official assessment of courses that have in this case this year global learning. We assess them. We develop the report. Yeah, once every 5 years for one of these outcomes. That's correct.
And that's the report is once every 5 years. If you're checking this off, you're still doing that work and doing that assessment every year, but it doesn't necessarily have to be sent into the watermark except once every 5 years.
I mean, that's certainly up to the courses themselves, but an official institutional process for general education assessment, it's only once every 5 years.
Right. But it shouldn't, like, what I'm trying to get to people is it shouldn't change the way the course is being taught.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't teach it differently in the 5th year.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments, questions on this? So we know where to get this information to get a lot more details on each of those outcomes. And that information will be posted then in the Blackboard curriculum page. And we just ask that deans and faculty you share this information with the department chairs so that we can assure if the course is going through curriculum and is in watermark that the correct gen eds are checked. All right, I'm going to stop that. That is all the items I have today. There was no other items on our agenda. Does anyone have any announcements? Okay, so can I have a motion to conclude the meeting for the Curriculum Committee, March 7, 2024? It's 3:32 p.m. A motion to end the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and all in favor? All right, we are good. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending.